time to see what you've been talking about on the various issues that we raised on Interactive. Aisha, over to you. What are they saying?
Alright, it's time now to take your thoughts on the most interactive segment on Joy News Prime. Stand by with all your gadgets and join the conversation on facebook.com/JoyNewsOnTV. We're also on twitter.com/JoyNewsOnTV. You can send your messages via WhatsApp. The number is 0560-800,000. Number again, 0560-800,000. And the rule is that you send your name and location when sending that message, but please don't call. Now, former Chief of Staff Nana Dadzie says Parliament failed Ghanaians by rejecting the November 7 date. According to him, Parliament got it all wrong, adding that the MP should have looked at the transition, which becomes problematic, especially when there is a presidential runoff. What do you make of this? Do you think Parliament failed Ghanaians in taking that decision?
I think Parliament has really failed Ghanaians because this is a season where a lot of people like to mingle with friends and family. So if election is still going to be on December 7th, then it's going to restrict a lot of people from moving out and having the fun that they normally have, which is going to create a lot of tension. Probably there's going to be a runoff in the country. Runoff normally, or things about election actually doesn't really sound well to a lot of people, and it's going to slow a lot of business because people will not go out to go and buy, and those selling will not even be able to sell, and it's going to slow a lot of things in the country.
I think when a date is being changed to November 7, it will help us all. Like instance, like it will give us adequate time to prepare for the changeover and stuff, and also when there's a runoff, yeah, it will help us. It will really help us. So I think changing the date to an early month is okay. It's okay for us.
I think so. Yeah, these politicians, they are not straightforward and they're not consistent on what they are saying. They're always like, when they say one thing today and the other day they change it. So I don't trust them and I don't really follow what they say. But I'm praying for a successful election.
Alright, so a lot more of your messages coming on Facebook, Araba.
Indeed, and there are some who agree with Nana Dadzie, but there are others who don't agree. Bugri Baumia Jr. says, Parliament did not fail Ghana, but rather trying to strengthen democracy in Ghana. But Gabi Pat says the opposition MPP acted in bad faith because the party agreed when they met at the IPAC meeting with the Electoral Commission. I think that he's referring to the date. Now, Dominic Efrifa Yamwa says, has it been totally rejected or can it be revisited? It is this year that it can't have, the election can't come off on 7 November. But if the Electoral Commission starts, well, next election, it can be held in November. I believe they saved Ghana than failing, looking at the time left, and the EC's preparation is not adequate. The EC has been given 1 more month for preparation. Then Anthony Ayinga says, who is asking, who are they saying EC is not prepared? Did the EC say so? MPP should know that you don't win elections by trying to frustrate the Electoral Commission. And this is a funny one by Francis Aintree. He says, oh, no problem. You can go and vote on 7 November. We will vote ours on 7 December. So this is how the comments.
What's up? Zara from Pusiga says, ready we are as EC is showing to us it is incapable of conducting free and fair elections. No more Supreme Court. Everyone saw how MPP was ripped off in 2012 elections. This one says MPP is selfish. They don't want happiness, the happiness of others. This from Chemical from Nkunya. Please tell me which chemical you are. Zion says, I think the majority has failed in their negotiations with the minority side. Now the EC chair can now see the difference between changing a logo and that of changing a mandatory 7th December to 7th November. What a confused EC going to organize a confused elections. I don't think you're being fair, Zion. Godfrey from Techiman says the EC is not ready, but the EC says it is. So where is your point? You didn't add your name. He says yes, especially the MPP. If it was money where they will enjoy, they would vote for it. And This one says November 7th, good but better in 2020 due to time factor and a free and fair election. Remember, November or December, peace must reign. This coming from Tuntum. Tuntum didn't add your location. Baba from Bongo says the MPs totally failed us. Well, so Potag has also slammed Professor Aite over comments he made on the conversion of polytechnics into technical universities. Speaking at the 25th anniversary celebration of MDK Financial Services in Accra, the professor said everybody knows polytechnics are poorly equipped, and if you have not provided those things and you change their name, you have not solved anything. But it seems Potag that didn't take the comments lightly at all. So the question we asked, what do you also have to say about this?
I think it's a technical institution and it has more to do with practicality. So the government changing it to university, well, it's good, but then they should focus more on their equipment and then the things as in facilities that they use in this.
Yeah, I think changing the name wouldn't make any difference. So they should just leave the name and then do what's necessary, like giving them more equipment, and then I think things that will be necessary for them to use in learning.
Because they need to upgrade it, that is to the university level that the students are believing that they need to be upgraded. That when you watch that is the HND. The HND is equivalent to maybe somebody have a degree. You get a point. But they want to make it in such a way that they should have a degree in a technical university. They come in a level with them. But as we are talking about the technical aspect that we need, that is the equipment, the technical that they use on the field in the school. That is, we are lacking from the onset. When we work from the intermediate level, we don't have the equipment. So when we get back to the field, we find it difficult using the tools. In case maybe when we travel outside, or maybe the foreigners come in with the gadgets, because we haven't worked with the tools for a long time from the school. So it's good that when they upgrade them, as they are saying, at the same time they need to work on so that we get it. That is the technical equipment on the ground.
Alright, so what are people saying on Facebook?
Okay, not too many people have been commenting on this, but Demi Dare Simon says, we can cry foul or call for the head of the professor, but in reality, and the question to ponder over is, our educational institutions, that is the universities, the polytechnics, the colleges, etc., producing the needed skilled human resources, that is employable skills? That's the question he's asking. And Bugri Baumia Jr. says, we don't cry for infrastructure at the polytechnics, but only praying for conversion. God save our country, Ghana. And so those are some of the comments on Facebook.
Nantoma Muhammad Badum Sugri, he sent us a WhatsApp message. He says, has government put in structures and other necessary facilities in place? If this is not done, then it's a misplaced priority. You are still talking about the elections. This one says, it is true. It is true. The professor alone, everything. Leave the professor alone. Everything now is politics. You didn't add your name. This one says, changing to university is not a problem, but equipment must be ensured to differ from advanced SHS. This coming from Tuntum from Ra campus. This one says, I agree with Ibrahim Binga from Kwando says the politicians are joking with our education. And you say, I agree with the professor, rebranding it to technical universities will not solve the problem facing the polytechnics. The problem should be dealt with and not changing them. And this coming from Gordon from Bibiani and from Ali Mahama from Busa. He says, why did the government wait till a few months to elections to convert the polytechnics into technical universities? To me, it's just doing it to score cheap political points, and so will not do it properly. And a lot of the comments are coming from Zion.
I have a few more comments on Facebook. Let's take that quickly. Mohammed Astro Damongo says, I strongly support that policy by His Excellency John Dramani Mahama and the NDC in the conversion, and he's supporting that as well.
Okay, and Zion on WhatsApp says politics will destroy our educational system. Mahama is playing politics with our education. This coming from Zion from Wa, and this one says minority never failed Ghana. He's still talking about the change of date. Bonzu Zion from Bonzu Shama, he says I'm okay with the technical universities, and those were some of the comments on WhatsApp. But let's look at this Ghanaian rapper Gemini. He's attributed the escalation of beef, I'm talking about feuds, to media representation of lyric and style. The rapper who called on Sarkodie and Manifest to make peace after their seemingly lyrical war with his ceasefire single said that the media often misinterprets content and style of musicians. Do you agree with him?
Yeah, yes and no. Yes, because mostly when a rapper says something, it's the media who says it, like the fans. They start circulating it on social media, and media being the platform, they circulate it. And no, because it's not, sometimes they don't really get information, but they put what they want to see.
Yes, I believe the media is to be blamed for the escalation of the music rappers, because sometimes musicians sing, and in the song they've not mentioned anyone's name. A song like okay, most of Sarkodie's songs, he sings and just he puts it indirectly, but the media tries to frame it in a way to favor the public, as in he's trying to refer to this, it becomes so many issues that brings about grudge between an opponent.
I think so, because normally, you know, the media, they want something to talk about. Of course, they want news, and Ghanaians being so interested in entertainment and all, they try to bring some things to the public to get something to talk about.
Well, those are some of the comments coming from the streets of Accra. I'll take your WhatsApp comments very soon, but let's look at our trending picture. Okay, so that's our trending picture. We can see Bukom Banku, who used to breach. He is no longer breaching, now he's dark in complexion. And it looks like his color has preaching. I wonder what Bukom is preaching about.
He's now a preacher now.
Is he preaching for people to stop breaching? Oh, what kind of preaching? Oh, he's preaching as part of his
Bukom Banku always has some new trick up his sleeve. If he's not bleaching, he's preaching.
I'm sure. I'm sure this will do a good. He has the Bible and the Quran as well.
Goodness,
oh my goodness, that's fine. So he can make reference to each of them anytime, at any point in time. This should be very good lyrics for one of the rappers, from preaching to preaching.
Exactly, since it rhymes as well. But it's a good thing if he's preaching good news, you know, in both the Bible and Quran.
And the Quran.
That is a good thing.
That's good.
And it's amazing how his color has been restored. His original color.
Well, that's a photo. Maybe if you see him in reality, you may see some
Dark patches on his face.
dark patches, because he can't get
The original color back.
yes, I don't think it's possible.
Okay, I see. Interesting.
Alright, so let's check which comments are coming on WhatsApp. This one says, there are several politicians, please try and be faithful to Ghanaians, okay? We can make and unmake you. This coming from George Bibieni. And this one, Ibrahim Diego says, the media is trying to bring confusion among celebrities. Look at the interview, just trying to deceive Shatta to say something. Oh, you people are not being fair to us. You need to ask the right questions to get the right answers. So pardon us if we do that. Nantama Muhammadu Badum Sugri says, I strongly agree with him, because the media sometimes incites musicians against one another. This should be stopped. And this one says, whether Bukom supports Mahama or whatever, we the unpaid teachers will not vote Mahama. Well, your vote is your power, and you're entitled to a decision. And this one said, hey, this guy, Flesh Banku, preach and breach, blackout. This comes from Tuntum, from Wa, and this one says, good evening. I think changing polytechnics to technical universities is not the way to go, but equipping them with resources to function well. Patrick Anamu from Bolga. Those are some, and let me read my last message sent by Zion. It says, Ghana is a serious nation. The jokers must go. And that's how we end Jeremy's Interact.
Joy News Interactive is brought to you by
Airtel, the smartphone network.